Konnichiwa, minaboku wa Jeremy desu. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. And I hope that you are doing well. How do you like my new sequin jacket? It's my host slash performing stage presence jacket thing. I ordered it online and it just barely fits, so I gotta be careful with that. Never had a sequin thing before, really, and it's weird because they keep like getting stuck on each other, so I gotta be very careful with that. So anyway, today I'm going to finally do my long-awaited, and I mean, for me, it's long-awaited because I should have done this a long time ago, but I've done more conventions this year than I have done before, and really it kind of boils down to 5, but that's still more than usual because I normally do 1 or 2 a year, maybe 3 depending, but it's been a while, so let's dive right on into it. So, the first one I went to this year was during May Long weekend, and that was Otafest. Now, Otafest I haven't been to in a while. This is their 2018 guidebook, which is amazing. It was beautifully done. They have maps in it of the TELUS Convention Center. They've got their guests. They've got stuff from the scheduling. They've got all the descriptions and everything of the shows that they were doing. It was amazing, and I also picked up this Otafest 20th Anniversary Yearbook, which is an absolute beautiful book, and my friend Megan is actually in it, and I think it was Otafest 2011. Let's see if we could find her here. Yeah, there she is. So Megan is the Frieza in that picture. Hopefully you guys could see it's kind of the bottom middle there. I know it's a bit dark, but that was Megan. So very exciting to have her in this book too, and I wasn't expecting that. I don't think she was expecting that either. But so for Otafest, I came as a performer. They had an outdoor stage, and I posted the videos earlier on my channel around that time when I got back from Calgary. And so Saturday and Sunday were the performances, both on the outdoor stage. It was kind of sunny, kind of windy. Always windy when I do unapologetically, for whatever reason. So the first day, my glove kind of fell off and flew a bit. My friend Michelle was able to pick it up for me, so that was, and I'm grateful for that. And then the second day, it was like little pink Sailor Moon things that don't actually fit my arm anymore. They're very tight, and I'm always afraid that they're not going to fit each year, and probably next year they won't. So I'll have to get that altered. And so that one fell off and kind of just ended up not being put on, but whatever. I didn't have the Sailor Moon costume on for too long anyway. I also ran a Sailor Moon celebration panel, and Pop Lurker was there, and they did a feature article on it, which was pretty neat and gave me a shout out, so that was great. And I also did Name That Anime Tune, I believe. Yes, I did. And it was fun. So those were my panels and the performances and stuff. I always love Calgary. I'm from Calgary originally. It's kind of my home convention, I guess, if you want to call it that. One of the first ones I went to. So it was like Otafest and Anime Evolution, but Otafest is still around. Anime Evolution isn't anymore by the sounds of it, at least not this year. They weren't. So that was great. I got to go with Caden, and we were there for a nice weekend. Got to hang out with my friend James and his wife Jessica, and it was a great trip. And our hotel was weird because, first of all, we stayed with my friend Heather for a couple of nights, which was wonderful. So thank you to Heather and Brian. And but then we stayed at a hotel, and it was kind of between Chinook Center and the TELUS Convention Center, which was perfect because that's where I go every time I'm in Calgary is Chinook Center, because memories. Sorry, it's hard to move in this. Like it's very bunched up and very, again, I have the same issue when I'm doing my, I guess because of the workout. So I should have maybe ordered a size up. But anyway, so the elevator was weird at the hotel because we were on the 3rd floor, but to get to the 3rd floor you'd have to do the lobby, and it would go up to like 2, 3, 4, and then it would come back down to the 3rd one. It couldn't just go straight up to the 3rd. Very strange, but whatever. We had a good time. And then after getting back from that, I had about a month or so, and I was invited as a guest to the Penti-Con, which was in Penticton, and it's the first time I've ever been to that one, run by Lillian and her team. And it was great. I couldn't go on the Saturday because I had to work. So after work on Saturday, my friend Ashley and I drove to Penticton, which I'd never been to before. So that was a fun trip. Stayed overnight there for 2 nights in this amazing little 70s style motel, I guess. It was adorable and I loved it. And the convention center was like not even a 3-minute drive away. And it's a fairly big convention center. It puts the Kamloops one to shame, which, come on Kamloops, come on, get with the times. So we did that, and it was great. I did my show, and I did Name That Tune panel. I seem to do the anime Name That Tune panels, but they're really easy. Give out candy for prizes. It's fun. It's a nice little panel that you can come to, and you can just sit and watch and play along if you want to. And I try to be as inclusive as possible. There was this one little girl that was trying to get, or guess a whole bunch, and finally she got one. And I can't remember if it was Kingdom Hearts or Bleach or something like that, but she finally got one, and it was fun, so that was great. And my concerts are, I don't know, they're not always well attended, but sometimes they are, and that one, you know, was towards the end of the day, and the main events was kind of off to the side, but it worked out alright. Still a lot of fun, and then I got to perform at the closing ceremonies as well. I saw Chantel Strand there, who is Diamond Tiara in My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, and she came to Anime Revolution 2013, one of the two, and she remembered me actually after I introduced myself, of course, but that was fun. She judged Idol for us that year, and it was great. So the Penti-Con was fun. After that, I had a few months to get ready for AR. And then of course AR came along, AniRevo 2018, and it was weird for me because this was the first year that I was not a staff member. But I was kind of an unofficial staff member. They still gave me a director shirt, which was amazing because I'm always going to be an honorary director with them. And it just felt nice because I wasn't married to the convention, so to speak. Like before, we'd pull hours of like being up until like 2 in the morning sometimes, and then having to try to de-stress, wind down, and then get up at 6. But I didn't have to do that this year because I just basically ran panels and did some hosting and stuff. So originally, I was supposed to do my Sailor Moon panel, again, similar to the one that I did with Pop Lurker there. Had some new stuff to add to that, so that was great. I did an 18+ Bara versus Yaoi panel, which in absolutely honesty, I should have prepared more for, but it was still a good discussion, I think. People, like the room was fairly full, which was great. I was supposed to host Name That Tune, but unfortunately, with the way the scheduling is, and I understand this because I used to schedule it, you have stuff all over the place, and I'm pretty easy, pretty lax, so my friend Heather ended up stepping in to run Name That Tune because I had to do my Sailor Moon panel at the same time, I think. And so that was fine. And then I was going to be the opening and closing ceremonies host, which I really didn't know for sure until about a week before, which is fine. Again, easy, and it's right up my alley, and I love it. So now I have new hosting clothes if I end up doing it again next year. And then during the weekend, other things came up. So Heather asked if I could host Idol, which I did, and I got to perform. And she also performed an amazing rendition of Stand By Me. You should check it out. It's on my YouTube channel, so check through my videos. She hurt herself, though, and I feel so bad. She was running because one of the contestants in Idol, her song wasn't in it, I guess, right, or wasn't at where it was supposed to be. I don't know the exact thing, but she ran and she tripped and did a face plant dressed as Noctis on stage. So Heather, shout out to you for making it look amazing and for just playing it off and performing, sitting down, doing Stand By Me, and still just blowing it out of the water. That was amazing. So, and then, so I did that, hosted that. I ended up being asked to host the Convention Idol contest, which was, again, I'm not really big into the Love Live stuff, but so I didn't, and there were names I mispronounced, and I mean, these are names that I've mispronounced on my radio show because I see the little symbols and stuff, but it's, I thought it was like U's, but it's Muse because it's the Greek letter. I don't know. Anyway, and I thought it was Acquas, but it's pronounced Aquas, so you learn new stuff, I guess. I'm the old man now in the anime community. So went through that. It was well received. It went very well. What what else did I do? Every time I turned around, I basically ended up hosting something new, which again was right up my alley, and I absolutely loved it. And it's kind of what I wanted to do the whole time, on top of my directorial duties. But when you're staffing a convention and wanting to do all this other stuff too, it's hard because there's only one of you, and you have certain responsibilities that you have to take care of versus what you want to do with other things. So it's constant battle, and me being a Pisces and living in a fantasy world, I bit off more than I could chew in some cases. But this year went really, really well. So AR always does this now, which is great, where they have the schedule on a separate page with the mapping and all that kind of stuff, and the actual guidebook with descriptions of panels, the guest information, and so on. Bailey J is actually one that I follow on YouTube, and I met her in person at Fan Expo, but we'll get to that in a little bit. They brought back Kape Yamaguchi this year, so Inuyasha's voice, and he was also in Sailor Moon. So I always had this little thing every year where I'd kind of have some kind of a link to Sailor Moon in some way with guests that would come in, whether it was me or whether it was the Japanese side of guest relations that would bring in these guests. And Kape Yamaguchi kept it going this year because he was Artemis in the live action series, so that was amazing. I was like, oh, it's going to be broken, but it continued on. So we'll see what happens in 2019, if there's anything like that too. But I enjoyed it, and it was, like I said, it was a little bit odd, a little bit awkward in some ways, but at the same time it wasn't. Like, it was just like I had never left, and everybody still remembered me, and it was still fun, and just to be a part of it and to help out, and I hope to continue doing it. So, Fan Expo Vancouver moved from November to October this year, and they had the west side of the convention center. So myself, Megan, Jason, Ashley, and Pierre went to that. We had to take my car, and unfortunately my air conditioning is not working. So of course it had to be warm that weekend, which was fine, but my heater was on, like the defrost was on there and back, and it's like 3 hours away. So that was a little uncomfortable in some cases, but we made do of it. We stayed at the Ramada in Coquitlam and SkyTrained to the convention center and back. Hung out with my friend Katina, who, by the way, has done all the videos for me pretty much for my performances, my songs and stuff. And including the intro that you see at my videos now, and the one I just posted yesterday, where it's got like the full intro thing. Now that song, Technolude, is mine. I did that one. And then she took that music and she took pictures and videos and stuff that I had sent to her, and she put it all together, and just amazing. So thank you, Katina, so much. And she also, like, in 24 hours, she put together other videos for me. She had about a week or so, a week and a half, and she put together this amazing lyric video for me for a song that I debuted at Fan Expo, which I kind of had done before, but this time I sort of had it memorized, and I knew I was going to screw it up, and it was in my head that I was going to screw it up, and I always do that to myself. And sure enough, even with the lyrics right there and reading off of them, I messed up the song. Go Jeremy, called Unconventional, but it was still fun. So Fan Expo this year reminded me of Anime Revolution 2012, and I'll tell you why. Back in 2012, our very first year, we had ballrooms and an exhibition hall, and no rooms upstairs. This was on the east side of the convention center, and I had thought, okay, well, let's see if we could split up the ballroom, you know, with some kind of partition to make it 2 smaller areas for panels. And I had no idea that they were going to use curtains and piping to do so, which of course doesn't blot out the sound for it. So we had like 18 plus panels running while other stuff was going on. It was a mess, but you live and you learn, and so on. Well, Fan Expo this year, there was 4 or 5 other events, from what I understand, going on in the same convention center, the west side, so they were kind of relegated to 2 exhibition halls. And as such, they only had so much space, so their panel rooms were kind of the same. They had them split up with curtains and piping, and it was like panel room 1, panel room 2 with the speed dating on the other side. The main events was kind of in the middle off to the side, and then they had their photo area, and then all the rest was exhibition space and autographs. And so for my concert, I knew right off the bat when I was told that it was going to be in like this kind of a setting. I'm like, oh dear, we're going to run into some sound problems. So sure enough, I was doing Kremlin Desk to open it up, and you can watch it because it's on my YouTube channel. They had to turn the volume down 3 times because apparently I was overpowering main events. So, you know, Go me. But so it was hard for me to hear the music. I couldn't use the stage because they had tables and microphones set up, and with AR and stuff like that, I would kind of just push them off to the side because I had a little bit more ability to do so, but they were really against it at Fan Expo. Whatever, I understand, it's totally fine. I used the space in front of the stage, had more video this time, so it was pretty neat, and I'm just testing the waters with stuff. I want to try to include more video footage of anime, AMVs, lyric videos perhaps in the future. So we'll see how that goes. So it was a little bit of an experiment. I also ran Name That Tune, but it was different. It was Hear the Theme, Name the Show. So instead of just anime specific, in fact, I think I only played one anime-ish song, and that was The Wizard of Oz, Oz no Mahoutsukai. If you remember, it used to be on Showcase. YTV had it for a while. But otherwise, I kind of stayed away from that, and I concentrated more on shows from the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and that was on American television, Canadian television, and the BBC. So there was like Doctor Who, Keeping Up Appearances, things like that. Little Britain, Hollyoaks, and then I would do things like American soap operas. A lot of people didn't know which one. Everybody thought it was General Hospital. They kept saying General Hospital. So I'd give them the hint it's an American soap opera, and they'd keep thinking General Hospital. So anyway, there were some other fun ones in there that people kind of sang along with, like the Gummy Bear theme song, and you know, not that weird one that came out in the 2000s, but I mean like Dashing and Daring. I don't remember the words. But anyway, the like most epic songs ever were like 80s and 90s cartoons. Mighty Max, do you remember that? So that was fun. Again, we used candy as prizes. It was a little loud and the artists were on the other side of the curtain, but I think we still got away with it. It was okay. And then I hosted a panel with Amanda Miller and Jeremy Lee, so Jupiter and Venus from the new Sailor Moon dub from Viz, and Lucy Pohl from Overwatch. She is Mercy. Now, I know nothing about Overwatch. When they asked me to host it, I'm like, sure, I know nothing about this, but let's do it anyway. So I did, and I got a picture with Jason David Frank, who of course is the Green Ranger. And I was dressed as the Green Ranger when I had it, and I was just swimming in that suit. Thank you to Katina for helping me get into it. And I got his autograph as well. So every year I kind of have this thing when I go to Fan Expo where I try to dress in a different cosplay and get a picture with a guest that I wanted. And it was going to be Will Wheaton, but then Jason David Frank was there, and so did that one. Amanda Miller is hilarious. She and Susan Roman, like the Jupiters actresses, are amazing. I love them. They're so much fun. And Jeremy Lee, like she's friends with Shane Dawson, who I watch and love on YouTube. If you haven't checked out his Jake Paul series or his Kathy Griffin one, or like all these series that he's doing, Graveyard Girl, who's another one I love. I love it when YouTubers that I love collaborate with each other. So he's collaborated with Joey Graceffa, who I also love watching, and it's just amazing to see all this stuff. And if I could ever get a chance to meet them, that would be amazing. I keep saying amazing. So yeah, Fan Expo went really well. Went to the Spaghetti Factory like normal. And it was so much fun. We went to Metrotown, of course. That's always a destination for us. Tsawwassen Mills, which is a really nice mall. We found this place in Chilliwack called Muya, which is, shout out to them, a little milkshake shop. Absolutely delicious. I had a banana milkshake, probably the best milkshake I've ever had. So if you can check it out, it's on Lickman Road, I think is what it is. And there's one in North Vancouver too, but Muya is amazing. Found out that Fresh Sliced Pizza moved to Kamloops as well. They have the one in Metrotown. Absolutely one of my favorite pizza places, hands down. Love them. And so that we had lunch there. Tried this neat pesto garlic one. And there's a place at Metrotown where it looked like it was an old restaurant, and it was open as a Spirit Halloween, or not Spirit Halloween, but a Halloween store. So you got to go in, and they still had like the booths, and you could walk through the kitchen, and there were shelves with Halloween stuff. It was really neat. It's a neat location, and something needs to move back in there. Walmart opened up at Metrotown like 3 days before we got there, so we went in there. I got a new laptop bag at Lougheed Center Bentley. It's a dual laptop one because I got a new laptop, which I use for editing videos now, like this one that you're seeing. It was a wonderful trip. Lots of fun. And then they announced that Fan Expo Vancouver 2019 will be in March. So like 5 months, less than 5 months now. So it's like the last nerdy con kind of at the convention center for 2018, and it's going to be the first one for 2019. next year for that. So hoping to be a part of that too. And I always enjoy working with them. So there's little complaints here and there, but that's like this. It's the same with any convention. I mean, there's technical difficulties, there's this, that, and the next thing. Things that are completely out of their control. There was a lot of people complaining about Fan Expo each year, and I'm just, being on the side of having worked a convention, anytime someone complains about a con, I'm just like, you know, if you only knew what has to happen behind the scenes with the convention centers and stuff like that, like, and the work that these people put in, it's just, it's sad, you know, that people are ungrateful. And it's not just convention work, it's all over, like, anything, customer service in general. Like, I have a customer service job too, and just anywhere. It just seems everybody's so impatient and bitchy, and I don't know. It's just, that's a rant for another day. And then finally, oh, I don't have a thing for Fan Expo. I don't know where it is. I know I have one somewhere, but CamCon happened on the 27th and 28th of October. Yeah. Because 29th is my little brother's birthday, and that was on the Monday. So yeah, the Saturday, Sunday. So I did my radio show on the Sunday. I had to work on Saturday, so I couldn't go. And my friend Tyler was one of the guys that put it together. Now, CamCon is a gaming convention, kind of like tabletop and all that stuff. And they had some vendors, and it was in a single room at the Thompson Rivers University Student Activity Center, Campus Activity Center, in the ballroom. What the heck do they call it? Is it just the CAC ballroom? Grand Hall. The Grand Hall, there we go. And so we were to judge the cosplay contest, myself and Megan. So we did. Megan dressed up as Jacob from Assassin's Creed, and I was Goku, just because it's easy to do. And warm, and like, the Goku costume's amazing because it's flowy, so that if it's hot, you're not too hot, but it's warm enough, because it's like a pants one, if it's chilly outside. So it works both ways. I got a new wig at Spirit Halloween, so it's good, because my other Goku wig's kind of seen better days, as has my Sailor Moon wig. But went and did that after the radio show, and so there were 7 cosplayers, and then we had lots of time left, because it was like an hour allotment, so we did like a story time and Q&A session, and some people from the Penti-Con were there too, so shout out. And now it seems like I might be on board to help put together CamCon 2019, or at least work with them. So we'll see how things go, and maybe add a little bit of anime to it. That would be kind of neat. That's my expertise anyway, and the performing side of things. So I don't have a program for that one either, but it was, you walked in and there was like some vendors, and then like a curtain rod, and then there were tables all around the room for gaming, and then the stage was kind of at the back. So anytime you have a stage in a room where you're doing gaming and stuff, it's kind of hard to concentrate on stuff, because there's all this stuff going on the stage and whatnot. But still, it was a really good setup for their first year. Quite ambitious to have a 2-day convention for your first year, but they pulled it off, and here's hoping for good things in the future. Starting out at a school is always a good thing, I think, for your first year especially, and we'll see. But Kamloops, I don't know, I've looked into venues for conventions in here in the past. I've had issues at TRU trying to get a hold of anybody to figure out what to do, but our convention center is fairly small, and then we have, of course, the I think it's called the Interior Savings Center right now. It's the Riverside Coliseum down by Riverside Park. But again, that's a coliseum, so it's better for concerts and circus stuff and hockey and whatnot, and not so much convention stuff. I don't know, it'd be nice if we actually got a conference center that was like, I can't say as big as the Vancouver one, but at least the size of the one in Penti-Con, because that's a good size. So, I don't know. Anyway, 5 conventions. It was a lot. I liked it. I performed at every single one of them, except for CamCon, but that's okay. And I hope to do more next year. So we'll see what happens with that. Going to Otafest's 20th anniversary was really special, I think. And the fact that they put this book together, it's amazing. It's so colorful. I got one of their pins as well, because Otafest is known for doing pins, and so is Animathon, actually. And their guidebook is just amazing. Like, it's so good. It's such good quality. It's amazing. And they didn't do Aurora this year. That's their kind of mini convention, kind of like AR Winter. which we kind of want to call, well, my friend Jason came up with it, but Wintar, like W-I-N-T, and then capital A, capital R, because Wintar, winter, and enemy revolution, or Sumar, you know, spelt wrong, summer, but yeah, you get it. It's all fun. I don't know. That's what we call it anyway, but not officially, of course, for the convention. So that was my year of conventions this year, and I would love to go and do some American conventions or other parts in Canada. I did some voice work for a convention recently that's in Japan, actually, doing some announcements of the singing guests, which was fun. I didn't tell you guys that, but that's a little tea there for you. That was called International Fan Fest, and there's one going on in Toronto as well in April of next year. So that's a possibility, maybe, on my radar. I don't know. We'll see how things go. It's still November 2018. I'm kind of enjoying this little hiatus of I have no more conventions really for the rest of this year, so taking things slow. I cleaned up my room a little. It's more livable and it doesn't look as ridiculously insane as it did before, so that's taken away some of the stress. And I'm getting back into drawing too. Got a little hair in my tongue. Don't you hate that when it happens? Anyway, so I am looking at possibly doing my comic Rotation High, which I started in high school, and really there's only one full issue out. One sec, I'll grab it because I just happen to have it sitting right here. I might have shown it to you guys before, but I drew this. Gosh, it's so dark. The lighting, I don't really have lighting to work with it. I don't know how this is going to come across on the screen. But yeah, there's I don't know, there's a full comic. I hate inking things, by the way, I really do. But, so, my battery's going to die. I better finish this off. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll have more videos as they come along. Check out my Instagram too, which is just under my name, Jeremy Androsov, because I do little clips of songs and stuff that you don't always see here on YouTube. And but yeah, so looks like, yeah, my battery's dying. So I will see you guys later. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and check out my website at jeremyandrosov.com. Jamatane mina. Bye bye.